we have made it home with our newest acquisition, another rescue. This right here, this has been a bucket list tractor. I've wanted a Cat 30, an OG 30 for a long time, just never came across the right one. Always wanted California built because, well, obvious reasons. And I already have a 6G30, which you can kind of see right there. But I want to have a pair of 30s, and the goal is to get both of them running and restored and have a pair of 30s to be able to take to the shows of both varieties. But let's just do a quick walk around here. The first thing that caught my eye the minute I saw this, a PTO. Now, not a very common option, but very handy option. And as I do mowing for a living, it kind of is going to be a cool throwback to be able to put a mower on it and run it around and you say we mowed with the Cat 30. But that's one of my weird little squirrel away things. Here we have the brass tags. They're still in complete, intact. And we've got an S serial number. That means Stockton. So it's California built. California built, and it's lived in California its whole life. And that's why it's in the shape that it's in. If we get a little bit farther, tank's still in good shape. It's got some pretty good dents and dings, but it's not all rusted out, and it's still the original riveted and soldered construction. So that's pretty neat. That's part that caught my eye. I'm like, you don't see that very often. Really good grousers. The tracks look decent. It definitely, I believe, has had pads swapped at one time because these look like D4 pads, but I could be wrong on that. Somebody will probably correct me. Front idlers are in good shape. The rails are all right. The pins and bushings are decent. The upper rollers are good. The sprockets are a little bit sharp, but they're plenty good for a parade tractor. The sheet metal's all here, though it's pretty rough. It's here. A little bit of body work to do to make it right. All the castings for the seat are still there. Look at that. As we get up a little bit closer, the original engine carburetor is still there. Manifold has a little bit of repair in it, but doesn't look too bad. And that's a usual issue, is right in here they rust jack and then they're toast. But this one's still in, serviceable condition, and I think I can weld it up good enough to make it look original. There's the engine carburetor. Downside, somebody's got to it with some JB weld. Let's see if I can get, there it is. They got to it with some JB weld, which is going to be a little bit of a trick to, clean that up. Probably going to have to make a new bowl or get another one for it. I think I got one off one of my others I can borrow temporarily. But as we venture on, the Vortox air cleaner is still there. The tag's still intact. The original brass horn's still here, and it's not all rusted out. That's pretty neat. Bent pipe, easy enough to fix. I know a welder. Fan's still there. It's all original. The fan shroud's there, and being a late 30, that is an original shroud, I believe. Still got the petcocks on the top here. And look at that face. Isn't she a cutie? So this actually turned into, had to take a tractor to my kid's school this morning for show and tell, and got home and went to go pick this up, and the wife and I went on a day trip to go rescue this old gal. It's got an auxiliary lighting kit. It's not an original Caterpillar one, but it is actually done pretty well, so I might actually clean that up just a little bit and make it work, because it would be neat to make these lights work. Though they're the wrong ones, I'll probably try to find something a little bit closer to original and maybe put it back to how that was with lights. This tractor, from what I was told, has lived in Southern California its entire life, and the property that it was on, it is farmed since its original purchase. Though the property had changed hands 3 times and the tractor went with it each time, it never left its original property, which is pretty neat. Oil pressure gauge is still good. Now this thing's been repainted at one time, and I believe it's actually the wrong color. I believe this one's supposed to be gray and red. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to know. The original magneto cover's still there, all intact. That part's amazing. Like, you never see these. So at least out here, it's the first thing everybody takes off. So that's pretty cool that that's still existing. All the levers are here. All the castings are in good shape. Both steering clutches seem to work when we winched it on the trailer. It's still got the heel rest castings for the brake pedals. And it's a wide seat frame. So it's definitely got some unique features to it compared to just a run-of-the-mill 30. So I'm really excited to see what we can do with this one and see if we can make her run and bring her back to her former glory. Like I said, this has been a bucket list tractor of mine for a long time, and we're going to fix this one up, and this is going in the personal collection. This isn't one that's going to stray far. Though it may end up in a movie or two at some point, this one's not leaving our collection. Man, everything is just, it's there. It's amazing that it's all there. Now, it's had some modification to the radiator neck. That's some stuff we're going to have to sort out. But overall, it's in really good shape. And the radiator's in good shape. Now, it is a later serial number 30, so it has a conventional style radiator rather than the tube with the spiral fins. Those were used on the earlier ones. Later ones, I was told, use a D2, D4, RD4 style core, which is what this one has. So, judging by that it's a 9000 serial number, I dated approximately 1931. But I might be off on that. I'm just going off a serial number list that I Googled, and those who follow Caterpillar equipment know that that info is not necessarily the easiest to find. At least it hasn't been for me. Let's hear what experience you guys have had with that. And I'd love to know other sources to find out serial number info, other than just relying on having to bug my friends when I need the facts, because I'm kind of weird and I like to research that stuff. But overall, that's a real peach. I think we did good on this one. Real nice family we bought it from. They were, I think, happy to see it go to a good local home. So we're going to do it proud. We're going to make this thing run good, drive good, and let's see if we can't take it up to Best of the West show this year. I think this would be a good one to take because it's easily towed behind a pickup. All right, there's our quick overview. Now, the fun stuff. Let's see what's wrong with it. All right. One of the first things we're going to check is to see if it's loose. We've already checked this, and unfortunately, it's not. So, you see, it's pretty stuck. But the crank's spinning on the shaft. So we're going to give it some help. Okay. Now, I've already done this, so I know what the result's going to be. The engine is wiggling. The fan is turning, but the water pump is not. And being that a common problem on these 30s when they've been sitting is the water pump freezes up. Same thing that happened to our R5 and my 6G30. So we're going to get that broke free, and we're going to go from there, see what else we can do. And for those who are unfamiliar with the undercarriage components on a crawler, let's just do a quick refresher. This piece right here is called the rail. This whole piece, often called chains, they're actually called the rails. That's the whole chain piece of the track. Inside, you have the bushing. When you go to purchase a crawler, the first thing you're going to look for is flat spots or wear in these bushings. If they feel round, then your pins and bushings are in pretty good shape. The next thing you're going to check is the shoulder on the rails to make sure that your rollers haven't been hitting it. If these have a lot of wear right here, that means your rollers are worse. They're getting ready to let go because they've already worn through and it's rubbing on the side of the shoulder. Then you're going to look at the upper idlers. Have they been welded? Yes, but they're in pretty good shape still. There's not a lot of taper right here. Still got a lot of life left in it. Now, you'll often hear about the pads or the grousers. That's this part. So as we look, this is the grouser, the part that actually engages with the dirt. And this, for obvious reasons, is the pad. The whole piece is a track pad. These tracks all as one are the track group. But to give you a quick run through, let's do a quick refresh. Grouser, pad, rails, pins, bushings. upper idler, sprocket, front idler. And on the newer track skid steers and whatnot, these are referred to as bogies. But on these old steel track machines, still called an idler. And that is your recoil spring and also your track adjustment. That's what moves on this rail, keeps this moving forward or backward, and adjusts the tension here in your tracks. So just one quick little fun fact of when we buy one of these, that's one of the first things we look for is the undercarriage even usable? And if it is it salvageable, etc. And then underneath, you'll see the recoil springs or the balance springs that go between the track frames and whatnot. And then in here, that's your final drive. Little gear turns a big gear. Those are driven off of this hub, and inside of here is where your steering clutches and brakes are. Pretty simple. But as you can tell, these pads are just bolted to the rails, and that's what makes up your track group. But quick notice, the grousers are in good shape. You'll notice, maybe looking in the video footage, the riveted angle iron on the fenders. All of this sheet metal is originally put together with rivets, hot rivets. And that's how you can tell it's fairly early. If you're not well versed, that's a pretty good sign that it's one of the earlier ones. So much so that the step on the track sheet metal also riveted. So one of those neat little fun facts and why I really like these older ones a lot. This has been an absolute dream of mine. I still want to get a tail seat 30, but man, I've always wanted a regular 30. The sound of these, how they run, they're just, these in a 60, there's nothing replacing them. So I'm excited to get this one going. And you can tell original fuel tank, again, in beautiful condition, all riveted construction and soldered joints. The original straps are there. They've been welded up a few times. That's kind of to be expected. But overall, I'd say the extra paint job it got helped preserve it a little bit. So a little bit of cleaning up, a little bit of spiffing up. We're going to have a nice little tractor. All right, so now that we've confirmed the water pump is stuck, the engine I don't believe is stuck, but we're going to pull the spark plug, spray some PB blaster down in there, and get those, soaking at least. And we're going to work on pulling that water pump apart because just knowing with my previous experience, it's most likely the water pump. And when they're stuck and when I can get the fan to wiggle with the hand crank, that's usually a pretty good sign that something's moving. It's just not allowing it to move all the way. So, all right, stay tuned.